In tonight's Power Grab segment, the White House has been happy to join Republican rivals of Mitt Romney to blast him over his association with Bain Capital. But one of the president's top guys, David Axelrod, was asked how the Solyndra debacle, costing taxpayers $500 million, was any better than Bain Capital overseeing the bankruptcy of a company. Here's what Axelrod said.
Leverage buyouts of the sort that Governor Romney profited off of are quite different, where you buy a company, load it down with debt, strip it down, let it go bankrupt, and then make money off of fees on the bankruptcy. That's quite different.
So Solyndra is better than Bain Capital. Florida Republican Cliff Stearns, you can see him shaking his head. He's scratching his head over that one. He is leading the congressional investigation into Solyndra. And he joins us now. Congressman, this is talking about an Alice in Wonderland view of the world. I mean, which is the better business model, Solyndra or Bain Capital? It seems pretty simple, doesn't it?
Well, obviously, Bain Capital returned an 80% return almost every year for 7 years. But, you know, it is hard to believe that Mr. Axelrod would make the comparison because, of course, taxpayers' money were at risk in Solyndra and private investment was at risk at Bain Venture Equity Firm. So the difference is night and day because private people put up their money and know there's going to be a risk,
Bingo.
but it's all private. It's not taxpayers.
Absolutely.
So that's a fundamental difference. And to think that the campaign manager for the president would make that comparison is not only ridiculous and faulty, but somehow it looks like he's almost trying to demagogue the Solyndra issue and this Bain to try and make a comparison. And there's just no comparison, David.
Well, you know, my first thought was the White House is betting that the public is stupid. They're betting that we are so stupid that we can't tell the difference between one company in the private sector that had about a 70% success rate with the companies that took over, Bain Capital, and another company that has all kinds of political interference and $500 million of taxpayers' money that fails miserably. I mean, how stupid, until I began to think, my God, that's really the way Axelrod sees the world.
Well, as you know, there's 11 companies that roughly about $6.5 billion are at risk today. It was reported recently by other networks. In fact, 6 companies have gone bankrupt. So if you look at even the odds under a Bain Venture Equity Capital and the White House and their Department of Energy loan guarantees and grants, they're all starting to go bankrupt. So, I mean, you could even attack this from so many ways to show that Mr. Axelrod is off base.
All right, well, there is breaking news on this subject. You are the lead investigator. You're chairman of the subcommittee that's looking into all this, so thank you for that due diligence. Now, there is this report that Herb Allison has put together, Herb Allison working for the president, who, by the way, we tried to get to come on the show tonight when we heard you were going to be on. He said no, he wouldn't come on. But they put together this sort of view of what went wrong with Solyndra, and why can't we get a copy of that?
That's right. They're giving the copy today to the White House. Now, this is a report that the president said he's going to get in 60 days. That would make December 27th, because he asked him to do it on October 28th. So we should have had the report on December 27th. So it's a month late. They're giving it to the president. They're not providing it to the public, and it's all paid for by taxpayers.
It's
David,
our money. It's our money. If they used our money to investigate something that went bankrupt with our money, don't you think we deserve to take a look at it?
For sure. And how long is the president going to keep this under wraps? Because it's interesting, this Herb Allison was the Assistant Secretary of Financial Stabilization in the Department of Energy. Now, I don't know how many assistants there were at that spot, but I'm sure he worked under Bush, he's worked under Obama, but the bottom line is we couldn't get him to testify or meet with us and talk to us. So for some reason, he's being very silent here on what's happening.
Well, we couldn't get him to come on Power of Money either. By the way, we only have 10 seconds, but whatever happened to your subpoena for more White House documents?
Well, we're meeting this week to look at a very serious charge, which would be contempt of Congress, because they're not providing us the documents. They're slow-walking, and in the end, we have even more information to show that the White House knew not only about Solyndra, but they knew about these other 6 companies that went bankrupt.
Chairman of the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigation, the man who's looking into this Solyndra mess, Cliff Stearns. Once again, great to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate it.